We have got to talk about what the God Whale just did. We also are going to be discussing in this video Pulse Chain versus Pulse X once again, that age-old question, and then we're going to be discussing some strategies. So tune in for the ride, enjoy the show, and I'll catch you at the end of the video. Hello, my name is HEX Crypto. We do all things crypto here, focusing primarily on Richard Heart, HEX, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X. The God Whale just recently did something that personally, I had never seen the God Whale do before. They just ended some stakes early. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the most recent payout that we had on the HEX T-share payout per T-share that you have. And it was, I believe, 12.6 HEX per T-share. Now, on average, we get roughly about 6.3 HEX per T-share. That's a pretty good number. That's an awesome number to have. But it's even better when you're staked and you can have those days where you end up making even more HEX by doing nothing besides staking. And when you delay that gratification, folks, it is pretty incredible to see the real momentum that can happen. Because what is the old Albert Einstein says, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Those who understand will reap the rewards, and those who don't will end up paying it. Something along that line. Don't quote me exactly on that, but leave a comment down below with the exact quote if you want to correct me. Once again, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. And yeah, yesterday's payout was 12.615 HEX per T-share. That is pretty freaking incredible. But that also comes with something that happened that had never been seen before, and that was the God Whale ending some of the stakes early. Now granted, let's take a look over here and see if we can actually dive into this wallet, possibly, and find out a little bit more as well. Now, overall, this is the God Whale wallet's address. You can know it as the 666D address. It's been known in the community as the God Whale address for quite some time. In fact, the God Whale himself has come out and said again that he is real. He is who he says he is. He has sent this transaction to our friend Funding Jim. Gary, if you have not seen that interview, we just recently did that a couple days ago. Go back and check that out. Type in ATX Crypto and Funding Jim and you will see that information on there. But it was very surprising because the God Whale has not actually ended one stake early. On average, what usually happens is we actually see the God Whale end up staking this amount and keeping the stake all the way to its completion. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull that up. All right. So I have the wallet right here. And again, this is actually the transaction history for the God Whale wallet's address. Again, I can just come in right here, click add address into clipboard. If you don't have this extension right now, you can check it out yourself as well. And when you come on in here, it'll go to pull up all of the information. So it was very shocking whenever I actually kind of got slapped on Twitter by Psychedicts. It was actually almost a little humbling experience, right? A lot of the times we like to think we know what we're talking about. And so I actually wanted to pull this up here and actually show y'all exactly what I'm referring to whenever I say this right now. So give me 1 second and I will pull that up. And again, I admit when I'm wrong, and again, I was indeed wrong in this scenario because he basically stated on here that this was the main reason that we were seeing the increase in that payout per T-share. And I was a little shocked. I said, the God Whale's not ended a stake early once. But once again, anytime that you see a high payout per T-share in HEX, it usually means there's something that happened. And as we dive in deeper into this transaction, you can see that he actually sent some of the HEX into a different wallet. And we discussed this in yesterday's stream, and in fact, I think it's a good idea. I think it's great to diversify your wealth. This is a way to diversify your wealth. We discussed it, we looked into the details as well, and tried to find out exactly what was going on. So again, I said he diversified his wealth in a new wallet and staked for 30 days. Again, this is the information that I saw at the time that I knew to be true. And so I sent this little message saying, the real God Whale is not the reason for today's high daily payout. What you talking about, Willis? I threw that little indicator over here. And what's funny about it is he then replies back. And again, I will absolutely admit when I'm wrong. And in this scenario, I was wrong. So, as we dive in, we can see that there was actually a contract that he was associated with coming from these areas. And apparently that had to do with some staking mechanics as well. And the more that I kind of dove in and saw and really kind of got a chance to see, the more I got a chance to see that the God Whale was in fact the reason why that daily payout was so high. And again, I said I will admit when I'm wrong. I didn't see this. Thanks for sharing the content and looking forward to our future together. So again, I will definitely say when I'm wrong on here, but I do want to check something out because Hex Alerts actually lists this information as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I wish I had pulled this up a little bit earlier, but we're going to go through here and try to take a little peeky weeky and see which one was the main culprit for yesterday's high percentage payout. Now, what we're looking for right here, just in case y'all don't know, if you haven't seen Hex Alerts, and Whale Hex is the actual title. If you actually come on down here, we're looking for a little bomb symbol, okay? That means that they essentially ended their stake early, and that's this one right here. No, this was not the one, because this is one I did look at. I believe they still have more stakes available. Yeah, this one, they still have 14 stakes available. We kind of thought that was a little bit tricky and odd, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Was it this one here? Not that one. One second. I wish I had pulled this up a little bit earlier here. And the bomb award, 3 million hex, just ended the stake early. That was only by a few days, so I don't think that was going to adjust it. Yep, this was it right here. So, and again, oh, that was the Ethereum transaction that that we already saw. Haha, I already had it pulled up. Too funny. So essentially on this one, this is the exact transaction that you can see. 3.3 million hex just ended the stake. It was a reward and payout of a total of 5 million hex. They actually had a penalty of 3 million hex, and they ended it basically 173 days early. The God Whale has not once ever ended a stake early. So I was really curious. The more that I ended up seeing and the more that I ended up trying to look into this, it really kind of got me curious as to like what was going on. Again, the God Whale has not once ever ended a stake early. So let me know what y'all's thoughts are down in the chat. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are down in the comments. I'm curious to see what you're thinking. And if you think that this could mean that Pulse Chain's around the corner. Now again, that's my hopium talking for sure. But it is very surprising to see that once again, this wallet had been even associated with this protocol, because this is a protocol that we stay away from in the Hex community. We don't even mess with. But it was still very odd, the fact that there was, again, $3 million worth of hex, $1 million worth of hex here, and it all ended up getting basically ended early, which is why a lot of those stakes and that payout per t-shirt yesterday was nice and juicy. I was so happy to see a 12 hex per t-shirt payout. That was insane. In fact, it's only happened 4 other times. So you have to be staked in order to capture all in those moments. You do not want to miss some of those days. It's like if you've ever heard of, there's days where you don't want to be investing, and if you aren't invested on that particular day in the stock market even, then you end up losing about 30% of your value. That's essentially what happens here on these days when you have a high payout per t-share. So I was very curious. Yeah, definitely had me thinking, because once again, I had never seen the God Whale end a stake early. Now, it doesn't show on here just yet that the stake ended early, and maybe it was because it was from a different protocol, so it doesn't list it on this go.hex.com, but the Hex 3 protocol apparently still has an effect on the T-share, and that's exactly why I missed it. So I was looking just at this wallet here, and I was trying to get a better understanding of, God, goodness gracious, I have way too many windows open. Close this. All right, so Yeah, very curious. I was actually a little shocked, not gonna lie. Definitely a little shocked. It had me kind of thrown off for a second. I didn't really think that was a possibility, and yet here we are. In fact, it was a possibility. And so just curious as to what y'all's thoughts are, and try to see out, what y'all are thinking as well. Do you think that Pulse Chain could be just around the corner and this is more of a play to have a different wallet set up just in case? Or do you believe that it is a situation to go about making sure that, again, they just wanted to get out of that protocol, even if it meant ending it a little bit earlier? So I'm not exactly sure how long